$500 million, maybe less, but often more. That's not a typo. That's not hyperbole. That is the cold hard price American taxpayers are paying right now for the Trump administration's war in Iran, Operation Epic Fury. Colonel Douglas MacGregor, Scott Ritter, and Pepe Escobar have been screaming from the rooftops for weeks. This isn't strategy, it's financial suicide. And today I'm breaking it all down with the receipts, that will be accompanied with some insightful analysis on why this cost asymmetry is going to haunt America for decades. Stick around, this one's going to make you angry. However, there's also solutions waiting to be uncovered. Okay, so let's start with the first aspect. I get tired of seeing these off-the-wall analysis and takes done by others in regard to this Israel-Iranian war. I stick with three particular war analyses provided by three of the sharpest independent voices on foreign policy: Colonel Douglas MacGregor, former advisor to the Pentagon; Scott Ritter, ex-UN weapons inspector; and Pepe Escobar, veteran geopolitical analyst. These aren't armchair commentators. They've been right about Iraq, Afghanistan, and the forever war trap for years. No, they're unanimous. The Trump team is repeating the exact same mistakes, only this time the price tag is visible in real time. Okay, so let's rehash where this all started. February 28, 2026, is when President Trump launches Operation Epic Fury. It was a massive US-Israeli strike on Iranian leadership, nuclear sites, missile bases, and energy infrastructure. Iran hits back with waves of cheap drones and ballistic missiles targeting US bases, Israeli cities, and Gulf shipping. 40 days later we're still in it. Trump's latest ultimatum? Open the Strait of Hormuz or we start hitting power plants and bridges. MacGregor calls it strategic illiteracy. Ritter says we're already losing. Escobar says this is the final chapter of unipolar delusion. And the numbers prove them right. So what about the dollar figures getting leaked by the Pentagon to Congress back in Washington, D.C.? Right, it's all about costs and expenses. The war's progression up to the sixth day? Well, that hit a whopping $11.3 billion. By day 12, that shot up to $16.5 billion. Heck, just in the first 24 hours alone a $779 million expense was generated. That's not to mention a plus $630,000. O was an additional cost just to position forces. Tomahawk cruise missiles at $1.3 million each. Patriot interceptors at $4 million a pop. We've already burned through so many high-end munitions that the Pentagon quietly switched to cheaper short-range rockets once air dominance was temporarily achieved. Daily burn rate has dropped from the opening barrage, but it's still hovering at roughly $500 million a day in sustained operations. And that's before you add this stuff up. There's $800 million in damage from all the Iranian strikes on US bases. Then soon there will be another funding request from Congress that will be passed to get more missile production. And you gotta think about the long-term costs to replenish stockpiles that took decades to build. This doesn't even count the aid pipeline to Israel or the economic ripple effects: oil spiking, shipping insurance through the roof, global inflation hitting every American at the gas pump and grocery store. So Iran decides to launch $20,000 to $50,000 drones and missiles. And how do we respond? We answer back by firing $1 million interceptor missiles. Every single exchange bleeds the high-tech side dry while the low-tech side simply mass produces more. We saw the exact same dynamic in the Red Sea against the Houthis. Months of multi-million-dollar intercepts against $10,000 drones. The math never works in favor of the expensive side in a long war of attrition. MacGregor has been warning for years. You cannot outmatch Iranian militant forces with firepower alone when the enemy's strategy is to make every engagement cost you 10 or 20 times more than it costs them. Ritter puts it bluntly by saying, "We are losing this war." Escobar ties it to the bigger picture. The multipolar world no longer tolerates American overstretch. Every day we stay in this fight accelerates the shift of power away from Washington, D.C. From a systems perspective, this is exactly how empires bleed out. Not in one dramatic defeat, but in 1,000 expensive little cuts. American taxpayers aren't just footing the bill, they're the only ones who will. While Congress argues over domestic spending, this war is quietly eating away at United States citizens' financial future. This is money that could have gone to infrastructure, debt reduction, or veterans' care is now vaporizing in the skies over the Middle East. And it's not just America. Europe is watching energy prices explode. Asia is watching the shipping lanes choke. Developing nations are facing food and fuel shocks. This is the hidden cost of believing you can bomb your way out of a strategic miscalculation. Colonel MacGregor, Scott Ritter, and Pepe Escobar aren't anti-American, they're pro-reality. They're telling us what the numbers already prove: you cannot outspend asymmetry forever. The question isn't whether we can afford another week of this war. The question is whether America can afford another decade of the same failed playbook. So what do you think about these mounting war costs? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you agree this ongoing financial malpractice is affecting both domestic and international product trade? Should Congress opt for yet another cost-spending request hearing to go toward this Israeli-Iranian war campaign? If you want more unfiltered, expert-backed breakdowns like this, hit subscribe, ring the bell, and share this video with anyone who still thinks endless war is free. So if you liked what you saw and heard today about this informative topic matter, then smash that like button. Make sure to subscribe to Mind Blast Mechanics, where we dive deep into the observations that matter. We'll get back to you as soon as possible. If you have a question to be answered, don't miss our next video, so make sure to tap that bell. Thanks for watching.